Hey there, welcome back to Fresh Start Budgeting. We're jumping right back into our 12-week year, reviewing week number 6, which we planned out last week. So last week when we went through this, we were really trying to get ourselves back on track after some emergency spending when our furnace took a turn for the worse right before a cold snap hit. So we were lucky that we were able to deal with that, but we did have to take money that we had previously been setting aside towards our emergency funds and other money that we were planning to put towards debts and savings as part of my 12-week year plan, which is to put 30% of my income towards debts and savings. So it took a bit of a turn, but I was really trying to get myself back on track, and so we set out a plan for doing that, of getting $2,300 to get us back to the starting point of where we were when the furnace took a hit. Well, don't you know, I've broken the budget this week, so I need to do a little bit more shuffling around and going to show you what this looks like. But one thing that has really worked out for me is that I've decided, for whatever reason, to take a different approach to how I've structured my weeks. So this is the calendar that I'm using. So you can see these little cash points here. This is where I am getting paid, and I'm then not defining my week as a whole week. At that point, I'm just defining from my payment through to the Saturday, then taking the Sunday through to a Saturday, and then from the Sunday through to the next time I have a payment. So it gives me a little bit more flexibility in terms of how I deal with the funds. Takes a little bit of stress off of everything always changing every time I get a pay in terms of how I define a week. It was just really messing with my head. Okay. So that is something that has worked out well this week, and something that I'm happy I decided to give a try to. It does make it look like there's a lot more weeks in the month when there's not, but I think overall that's okay. Now, how I'm really approaching these things is we have 4 different incomes. We have my employment income, and then we have disability income that my partner receives. And it's been the disability income that we've been trying to set aside directly into debts and savings and just do our living and expenses under my employment income. So that's how we are approaching this. And here was my initial plan when I set this out last week, that I would have $1,000 going to bills, $654 going to debt, $150 for groceries, $160 for pets, $40 for subscriptions, and $50 for transit. It left me with $646 to roll over into the following week, which I felt really good about, so that we weren't using all the money in the first couple days of my pay period, and we were spraying out a little bit. Now, what's happened since then is I took my daughter to the dentist, and love the dentist, but I seem to have misunderstood something, because the last time we were there, we talked about her need for Invisalign. So at first I thought this was just a cosmetic thing, and I wasn't really worried about the timing of it, and I was kind of like just telling her to chill out and deal with the fact that she had a tooth that was a little bit out of place. But the dentist explained to me that it was really more of a structural issue that was going to get worse over time and really degrade the structure of her teeth. So we went ahead and decided to go with Invisalign, but what I misunderstood was I do have benefits, and I thought the benefits would kick in from the first date, but when I went to the dentist, they said, oh, you have $1,000 down payment that you have to do for us to proceed. So instead of having a $250 bill or something like that I was expecting, I had to put down $1,000. I didn't have to, but I kind of felt like I had to, and I maybe regretted it a bit, but at the same time, yeah, it's her teeth, right? Like, I don't want her to have problems with her teeth for the rest of her life. So I did that, and then when they did the x-rays of her mouth, they then saw that her wisdom teeth are coming in, and they're coming in really fast. Like, we just went 4 months ago to the dentist, and they said there was no problem with the wisdom teeth. And now, like, the wisdom teeth, I can see them in the x-ray. They're like, they're going like this. So, I'm really trying to break out of this cash flow thing where I'm just, you know, things keep popping up and we deal with it through like moving money around and cash flowing it. I really want to get to the point where I'm able to have funds available and be able to plan and all that wonderful stuff. And that's really what I've been trying to work towards. So I feel like a bit of a bust this week, just in that yes, we cash flowed the furnace. We dealt with the furnace. We were able to take money from our emergency funds and other areas. We were able to do it because we have more money set aside, but I still feel like it was a cash flow thing, and I'm still in this cash flow cycle. So that's just a me thing in the moment. I mean, I know that the habits that we're putting in place and the things that we're doing are definitely, you know, they're hugely beneficial. I totally get that. And so I need to give myself a little bit of grace and acceptance. The fact that it's not all going to go the way that you hope it'll go or plan it'll go or anything else like that. Life just happens. It really does happen. Okay. So I was really happy with this setup of these weeks. I still have the same goals. I'm still working towards the habit of that 30% to debts and savings. Right now, it's 30% going to cash flow things. It's going to just deal with stuff that's popping up and just deal with it. And I'm still working towards that, integrating the 12-week year into my personal life. And that's just going to be, you know, for the remainder of my 12 weeks, that's going to stay on my goal list, because I feel like it's just something that's easy to forget about or move on from, but I firmly believe that it's something that is very helpful to me and just my way of thinking and the development of habits. And even if you don't see the immediate return, it is still an investment in myself. So that's what all of this is today. But I thought what I would do is I would just show kind of how this week has gone, the success of having the week set up like this, and kind of where I am today versus where I thought I would be in my budget. Okay. So I'm going to start with the money that we would have been putting toward debts and savings. I had put $500 aside to deal with savings challenges and things like that. And that's what you're seeing on a weekly basis come into view, is that money that I had set aside. I wanted to set aside the entire $1,200 check, but because of that dentist appointment, I was not able to. So we brought $700 into our spending from that income. And then we had $2,700 that came from my employment income. So altogether, the income for this period has been $3,400. Okay. All right. So we did deal with our debt payments, and that was $654. That is my mandatory minimum debts. That is nothing over and above. It's only the mandatory debts. Okay, I'm going to put the date over here because I messed up. Okay, most things happen on November 30th. Even the dentist happened on November 30th. Okay, I did take... All right, I got things in a bit of a weird order. Okay, so then again, we went to the dentist on November 30th, and it was there that I put down the $1,000 payment. Okay, Netflix came out, and it was $22, and that again was November 30th. My Crave subscription, I had this for the Game of Thrones sequel. My daughter really wanted to watch that. I know that that's over now. I'm probably going to cancel this one out because, again, it's just something like 20, this right here, $43 just for these subscriptions. It's like, okay, enough already. Enough with this stuff. Okay. Then I had also ordered my dog's pet food, and that was $165, and that was on December 1st. Also on December 1st, I took my daughter for her birthday. I took her to get her hair cut, and I also gave her leftover cash. The total of the haircut and the cash leftover was $200. And that was December 1st. Her birthday was not December 1st, but that's when we did it. And then my other daughter, I took her out and then as well gave her the leftover cash for her birthday. So that was a total of $200, and that was on the 2nd. All right, and then I did go and get groceries. We spent a total of $151. I almost made it to my goal, which was $150, and that was on December 3rd. And it was here that I was just kind of nervous of where I was with the cash flow because of that extra $1,000 payment. I hadn't yet put money towards my bills. So, and also because these 200, I was planning on using the previous money to deal with this, but because of everything I needed to group it together. So it just didn't flow the way I wanted to. So I ended up, I had planned to send $1,000 to bills, and I ended up only sending $480 to bills. You'll remember that I have one bill that's 1 month ahead, and I have a couple other bills that I pay in this first period that aren't actually due yet. So I'm just going to wait until this next payment to deal with those bills so that I don't get myself really short now. Okay, so if we add all these up together, we've got $2,893, and I had $3,400. So I have $507 left for rollover. So let's take a quick look at what it is that I had planned. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put the totals here of what I actually did. So here I did 480, here I did 640, here I did 151, pets was 165 because I actually had it delivered because I just needed it at that time. Subscriptions was 43, not 40, and transit, I didn't have to spend anything for transit. Then I'm just going to put the birthday money, which was 400, and the dentist. So that was my plan versus my actual. So you can see I'd planned to have a rollover of 646. I have a rollover of 507. So that needs to take me from December 4th to the 10th, that first period. And then the second period that I've got is December 11th to the 14th. So you can see it does, you know, it needs to take me quite far, but I think it should be fine. I'm happy with the grocery shop that we did. We did get quite a bit of refill of pantry items that I'm able to manage. The pet food I think is actually going to last me so that I don't need to go and buy pet food again. I do have enough transit tickets, and I don't plan on taking a taxi anywhere right now, so I feel like we should be okay there. I think overall, like, I'm fine with the money flow. I know that I've got money in the bank saved that I've just been slowly putting money aside to, and I've got money in my savings challenges. Like, I know there's money. I know that if something pops up, we'll be able to deal with it. It's just the not being able to put as much as I wanted to towards paying back what it is that we needed for the furnace. So that's just where I'm feeling a little bit off with it right now. But we definitely dealt with this in a way that I think makes sense for us. I mean, if you look at this period, we have $1,000 at the dentist. We've got $400 for birthdays. Like those are once in a while things. Those are not things that are always popping up. And this is not as the result of like overspending or going out and, you know, going to restaurants or deliveries every day of the week. So we're still on plan, just not like the habits that we have are on plan. And I know that having those habits in place is going to reach the outcome eventually of what it is that we're trying to do, which is to be putting that money aside, and not just aside for these like spendings, cash flow issues that pop up, but setting it aside for future us kind of things. So we're going to get there. It's going to take us a little longer than I would like it to take us, but we've wrapped up week 6 and we're moving into week 7 of my 12-week year. And let's see how that one goes. I mean, there's only so many more people that need to go to the dentist, or furnaces that need to be fixed, or, you know, like what else could possibly happen? Oh, knock on wood. I shouldn't even say that. Thanks guys for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye, guys.